Good morning or good afternoon, radio fans. Big Al here on this Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, and our reissues of the four largest Texas radio markets continues with a look at the state's second largest market, the Houston-Galveston market. Now, the reissues for both the Dallas-Fort Worth and San Antonio markets are up, so you can go ahead and watch those right now. But today we are taking a look at the Houston-Galveston radio market. This was also one of the first videos I've done in the series back in 2020 when I started this channel. And this is a very vast radio market here in the Houston-Galveston area. I have a total of 70 stations from Houston and Galveston, 30 on AM and 40 on FM, with 24 stations broadcasting in high definition. So there's a lot of choice here in terms of HD radio. Here in part one, we'll be taking a look at the AM stations. And then in part two, we'll look at the FM station. Station changed formats. In fact, they were sold to another company. And then you got another station, Houston on FM, that's about to be sold to another company in the future. So the FM stations reissue is coming up in part two. Here is part one, the AM stations reissue for the Houston-Galveston market as of June 2024. And we're going to start things off with 610, KILT-AM Houston. They're known as Sports Radio 610, Houston's sports leader. This is a sports talk station. This is the Houston affiliate of the Infinity Sports Network, previously known as CBS Sports Radio. And they are also affiliated with the Sports USA Radio Network. Sports Radio 610 is the flagship station of the Houston Texans and the Houston Dynamo, which is the local MLS team. KILT-AM signed on as KLEE on January 31st, 1948. The station became KLBS in 1952, and the current KILT-AM in 1957. They have a Class B license, FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts. Their studios are located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 900 in Houston. The trailer is off of West Road and Deer Trail Drive, also in Houston. KILT-AM Sports 610 is owned by Odyssey Incorporated and licensed to Odyssey License LLC as debtor in possession. Their programming is simulcast on sister station KILT-FM 100.3 HD2 in Houston. That makes Sports Radio 610 a sister station to our next station, 650 KIKK, Pasadena, Texas, known as the Bet Houston. This is a sports gambling affiliated with both the BetQL network and the Infinity Sports Network. KIKK signed on the air on October 2nd, 1947 as KRCT and became KIKK in 1961. Has the license with the FCC, broadcasting at 250 watts during daytime hours. Studios are also located at 24 Greenway Plaza, number 900 in Houston. Their transmitter is at the end of Crestwood Drive in Pasadena, Texas, which is a Houston suburb. KIKK, or 650 Houston, is owned by Odyssey Incorporated and licensed Odyssey License LLC as debtor in possession. KIKK is a daytime-only station and must sign off the air at local sunset on 6:50 a.m. However, their programming is simulcast 24 hours a day on sister station KKHH 95.7 FM HD3 Houston. On 700, you've got KSEV, Tomball, Texas. AM 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas. This station features conservative talk and brokered programming, affiliations with Fox News Radio, Compass Media Networks, Radio America, Westwood One, and Town Hall News. Their updates are heard at the top of each hour. KSEV signed on the air on December 1st, 1986 as KTBT and became KSEV in 1988. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 15,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Studios are located at 11451 Katy Freeway in Houston. That's I-10, by the way. Their transmitter is located in the Woodlands off FM 2978. KSEV is owned by Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and licensed by Patrick Broadcasting, LLC. 740 is KTRH Houston, branded as News Radio 740 KTRH, featuring a news and talk format affiliated with ABC News, Premier Networks, Fox News Talk, Westwood One, the Weather Channel, and local news and weather updates from NBC television station KPRC TV Channel 2. This is the oldest continuously broadcasting radio station in Houston, signing on the air on April 22nd, 1922 as WCM in the capital city of Austin. The station became UT in 1925. Then they would move their operations from Austin to Houston and become KTRH in 1929. The station began on 833 kilohertz and would change frequencies 8 times until landing on 740 in 1942. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 50,000 watts. Studios are located at 1233 West Loop South, Suite 725 in Houston. Their transmitter is off of County Road 491 in Dayton, Texas. KTRH is owned by iHeartMedia, licensed to IHM Licenses LLC, and programming is simulcast on sister station KODA 99.1 HD2 Houston. So News Radio 740 KTRH is the sister station to our next station, and that's 790 KBME Houston. They're known as Sports Talk 790. This is a sports talk station. They are the Houston affiliate of Fox Sports Radio, and this is the flagship station of both the Houston Astros and the Houston Rockets, and they are also the Houston area affiliate of the Texas Longhorns. KBME signed on the air in 1944 as KTHT. They would become KULF in 1970, KKBQ in 1982, and KBME with its current sports format in 1998. The station originated at 12:30 a.m. and moved to 790 in 1951. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts. Studios are located at 123 West Loop South, Suite 725 in Houston. Their transmitter is off 3000 Handsome Road in Houston. Sports Talk 790 is also owned by iHeartMedia and licensed to IHM Licenses LLC, and their programming is simulcast on sister station KTBZ 94.5 FM HD2 Houston. 850 is KEY Houston. They're known as Houston Radio Platinum, featuring a classic hits for. This station signed on the air in 1974. They have a Class D license with the FCC. They are licensed by the FCC to broadcast at 10,000 watts ERP days and 185 watts ERP at night. Under their current license, which is a special temporary authority, they broadcast at 100 watts during daytime hours. Studios are located at 3000 Bering Drive in Houston. Their transmitter is in Richmond, off of Pecan Drive near West Airport Boulevard. KEYH is owned by Australia Media and licensed to Australia Radio License of Houston, LLC. Under the station's special temporary authority, KEYH does go off the air at sunset, although they are licensed for 24-hour broadcasts. 880 is KJOZ, Conroe, Texas. La Grande, 104.5. This station features original Mexican format. Signed on the air on May 25th, 1951 as KMCO on 900 AM, which is assigned to Pecan Grove, Texas, and we'll be talking about 900 after we're done with this station. They would become KIKR in 1974, KJOJ in 1991, and KJOZ in 2012. The station moved to 880 in Conroe, Texas in 1985. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 10,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Their studios are located at 13105 Northwest Freeway, Suite 1060 in Houston. The transmitter is off of Foster Drive at Porter Road or FM 1314 in the Houston suburb of Conroe. KJOZ is owned by Hector Guevara Ministry Corporation. Programming is relayed on translator stations K258DI 99.5 FM, Humboldt, Texas, which is another Houston suburb, as well as K273AL 102.5 FM and K283CH 104.5 FM, both licensed to Houston. Next up, the aforementioned 900, KREH, Pecan Grove, Texas, known as Radio Saigon, Houston. This station has an Asian format. They signed on the air in Oakdale, Louisiana as KICR on January 31st, 1953. And in the Houston area, November 17th, 1999, also as KICR. The station became KREH in 1994 and moved into Metro Houston, as mentioned, in 1999. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 10 watts at night. Their studios are at 10613 Bel Air Boulevard, number A900 in Houston. Their transmitter is off 36th Division ME or Texas State Route 36 and Cachelli Road in Wallace, Texas. KREH is owned by Bustos Media, licensed by Bustos Media Holdings, and operated by Duong Phuc and Vu Tang Toi. Their programming is relayed on translator station K259DC Houston on 99.7 FM. 920 is KYST Texas City, Texas. They're known as Patriot Talk 920, featuring a conservative talk format. KYST signed on the air as KTLW on November 1st, 1948, and became KYST in 1980. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Their studios are located at 7322 Southwest Freeway, Suite 500 in Houston. The transmitter is on 29th Street North in the station's city of license of Texas City. KYST is owned by Hispanic Broadcasting Incorporated. Next up is 950 KPRC Houston. Not to be confused with NBC television station KPRC TV Channel 2. They're known as KPRC 950 AM, Real Texas, Real Talk. This is a news talk station affiliated with Fox News Radio, Premier Networks, and is the flagship station of the Houston Cougars. So you will hear University of Houston football and men's basketball on KPRC. This would be the oldest radio station in Houston that was based in the city, signing on the air on May 9th, 1925. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 7,000 watts during the day and 4,300 watts at night. Their studios are located at 1233 West Loop South, Suite 725 in Houston. Their day and nighttime transmitters are both located at 3000 Handsome Road, Houston. KPRC is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed to IHM Licenses, LLC. Programming is simulcast on KTBZ 94.5 FM HD3 Houston. And as I said, it's the longest running radio station in the Houston area. We talked about 740 began in Austin in 1922 and didn't move to Houston until 1929. 980 is KQUE, licensed to both Rosenberg and Richmond, Texas. This is known as Radio Aleluya, featuring a Spanish religious format affiliated with the Aleluya Broadcasting Network. This station signed on the air as KFRD on June 10th, 1949. They would become KMPQ in 1990, KRTX in 1997, and the KQUE in 2013. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts, 4,000 watts at night. Their studios are located at either 1600 Pasadena Boulevard in Pasadena, Texas, or at the headquarters of the Aleluya Broadcasting Network at 5237 US 87 in Victoria. The transmitter is located off of Morton Road and FM 2855 in the west side Houston suburb of Katy, Texas. KQUE is owned by Aleluya Christian Broadcasting, licensed by DAIJ Media LLC. Programming is relayed on translator station K264CN 100.7 FM in Richmond, Texas. Programming heard on 1010 AM on 93.3 FM channel 220. KLAT Houston is on 1010 AM, while KQBU FM Port Arthur is on 93.3 channel 227. Both stations are branded as TUDN Radio Houston, both featuring a Spanish sports format, affiliated with TUDN Radio. This is the Spanish flagship station of the Houston Astros, Houston Rockets, and Houston Dynamo FC. KLAT on 1010 AM signed on air as KODA on July 31st, 1961, and became KLAT in 1979. KQBU FM out of Port Arthur on 93.3 signed on September 11th, 1959 as KFMP FM. The station would undergo 6 call sign changes with 6 sets of call letters and became KQBU FM in 2009. They have a class, or rather, KLAT has a Class B license, while KQBU FM operates with a Class C license. KLAT operates at 5,000 watts during the day and 3,600 watts at night, while KQBU FM broadcasts full-time at 100,000 watts. Studios for both stations are located at 5100 Southwest Freeway in Houston. The KLAT daytime transmitter is off of Herman Road in Houston. That's the 5,000 watt transmitter. The 3,600 watt nighttime transmitter is off of North Court Road, which is also in Houston. Meanwhile, the KQBU FM transmitter is in Devers, Texas, off of US 90. KLAT is owned by the Latino Media Network and licensed by Latino Media Network LLC, while KQBU FM is owned by the Euphoria Audio Network and licensed to Univision Houston Local Media. KLAT's programming is simulcast on sister stations KLTN 102.9 FM HD2 in Houston and KAMA 104.9 FM HD3, licensed to the Houston suburb of Deer Park, Texas. Made a mistake there. Sorry about that. Moving on to 1050. KCHN, Brookshire, Texas. There is no brand for this station. They feature a South Asian format, and they also broadcast in 5 languages. KCHN signed on the air on August 2nd, 1968 in Liberty, Texas as KPXE. The station relocated to the Houston area as KCHN on February 7th, 1997. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting during daytime hours at 410 watts. Their studios are located at 10101 Southwest Freeway, number 400 in Houston. The transmitter is off of Butler Road and Sattler Road in Paterson. KCHN is owned by Multicultural Broadcasting and licensed by Multicultural Radio Broadcasting License, LLC. KCHN is a daytime-only station and must sign off the air at local sunset. 1070 is KNTH Houston. AM 1070, FM 103.3, The Answer. Intelligent Conservative. This is a conservative talk station affiliated with Salem Radio Network, and news updates from Town Hall News at the top of each hour. KNTH signed on the air in 1970 as KENR, and this station had a bit of an identity crisis, undergoing 7 call sign changes with 5 sets of call letters, including KRBE, which they used on 3 occasions. 1983 to 1988 for the first run, 1991 to 1993 for the second run, and 1993 to 1994 for the third and final run. The station became KNTH in 2004. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 10,000 watts during the day and 5,000 watts at night. Studios are located at 6161 Savoy Drive, number 1200, and the transmitter is off of TC Jester Boulevard, both located in Houston. KNTH, The Answer, is owned by Salem Media Group and licensed by Salem Communications Holding Corporation. Their programming is relayed on translator station K277DE Houston on 103.3 FM. 1110 is KTEK Alvin, Texas. This is the Houston affiliate of Relevant Radio, featuring a Catholic talk format. This station signed on the air on March 18, 1980. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 2,500 watts days and critical hours, which is the first 2 hours after local sunrise and the last 2 hours before local sunset. Programming originates from Relevant Radio's headquarters in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The transmitter is located in Alvin, off of Meadow Street or Texas State Route 424A. KTEK is owned by Relevant Radio Incorporated, and programming is relayed 24 hours a day on 3 translator stations: K222CX 92.3 FM, K241CM 96.1 FM, and K245CQ 96.9 FM. All 3 translator stations are licensed to the city of Houston. KTEK is a daytime-only station and must sign off the air at local sunset on 11:10 a.m. Although the 3 translators I just mentioned relays their programming 24 hours a day. Next on 1140 is KYOK Conroe, Texas, known simply as KYOK Radio, featuring an urban contemporary gospel format affiliated with Premier Networks. KYOK signed on the air on June 1st, 1984 as KMUV. They would become KPHD in 1988, KSSQ in 1989, KCHC in 1996, and finally KYOK in 1999. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day. Studios and transmitter are both located at 300 Bryant Street, or rather 300 Bryant Road in Conroe, Texas. KYOK is owned by Salt of the Earth Broadcasting. Programming is relayed 24 hours a day on translator station K240FC 95.9 FM in Huntsville, Texas. This is north of the city. KYOK is also a daytime-only station which must sign off the air at local sunset on AM 1140. Next up on 1180 is KGOL, Humboldt, Texas. They're known as 103.5 Hum FM, featuring a South Asian format. This station signed on the air as KTUN on September 12, 1983, and became KGOL in 1986. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at the full 50,000 watts during daytime hours and 3,000 watts during nighttime hours. Studios are located at 6161 Savoy Lane, Suite 1140 in Houston. Their transmitter is off FM 1314 and Grand Parkway or Texas State Route 99 in Porter, Texas. KGOL is owned by Rehan Sedikwi and licensed by FM Media Ventures, LLC. Programming is relayed on 2 translator stations, K278DA 103.5 FM and K291CE 106.1 FM, both licensed to Houston. Next up on 1230 is KCOH Houston, known as 1230 The Source, featuring urban talk and urban contemporary music. This station signed on the air as KNUZ on February 18, 1948, became KQUE in 1997, and KCOH in 2013. They have a Class C license with the FCC. They are licensed to broadcast at 1,000 watts unlimited But under their current license, which is an experimental synchronous operation, KCOH operates at 410 watts. Studios are in Houston at 2616 South Loop West, number 335. Their transmitter under their original license is at the end of North Ennis Street in Houston. Their present transmitter location under their experimental synchronous operation license is at 10537 Fisher Road, which is also in Houston. KCOH is owned by Roberto Ramirez, we'll just say that, and is licensed by Pueblo de Galilea LLC. Next up is 1320 KXYZ Houston, known as Houston's BIN 1320, because Truth Matters is one of their slogans, and their current slogan that they use on air prominently is your home for 24/7 news. The station would become KXYZ in 1930. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 8,400 watts during the day and 2,800 watts at night. Studios are located at 1233 West Loop South, Suite 725 in Houston. Transmitter is at 3000 Hanson Road in Houston as well. Houston's BIN 1320 is owned by iHeartMedia and licensed to IHM Licenses LLC. Next up on 1360 is KWWJ, Baytown, Texas. Gospel 1360, KWWJ, Keep Walking with Jesus. This is an urban contemporary gospel station, signing on the air as KREL in October of 1947. It would become KWBA in 1959, KBUK in 1974, and the present KWWJ in 1988. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day, 1,000 watts at night. Studios are located at 4638 Decker Drive in Baytown. Their transmitter is off of Decker Drive or Texas State Route 330 and Wade Road, which is also in Baytown. KWWJ is owned by Salt of the Earth Broadcasting, Darrell Martin Interests. 80 is KRCH Shenandoah, Texas, known as Jesus Radio, featuring a Spanish religious format. The station signed on the air as KPBX on June 30th, 1947. They would undergo 7 call sign changes with 7 sets of call letters and became KRCH in 1998. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 22,000 watts during the day and only 50 watts at night. Studio location is unlisted, possibly located in the city of Houston. Their mailing address is P.O. Box 16273, Houston, Texas 77222. The station's transmitter is off of Mayer Road in Hempstead. KRCH is owned by DAJI Media LLC, and programming is simulcast on KZHO-LD channel 38.8 in Houston and relayed on translator station K260DD 99.9 FM, also in Houston. Before I forget, the station began in Beaumont, Texas, and relocated to Shenandoah in 2007. 1400 is KHCB AM, which is licensed to the Southside Houston suburb of League City, Texas. They're known as Red de Radio Amistad. featuring a Spanish Christian format. And this is one of the oldest stations in the Houston-Galveston area, signing on as KFLX in Galveston in 1923. The station would become KLUF in 1933, KILE in 1957, and the present KHCB AM in 1991. The station relocated to the Houston suburb of League City in 2009. They have a Class C license with the FCC, broadcasting at 1,000 watts. Studios are located at 2424 South Boulevard in Houston. The transmitter is located at the end of Cruz Road in League City. KHCB AM is owned by Houston Christian Broadcasters Incorporated, which also owns KHCB FM, and we'll be talking about that station in part 2 of the rundown. Programming is relayed on translator station K268CW 101.5 FM Houston. 1430 is KSHJ Houston. No brand for this station. They feature a Catholic religious format affiliated with both the Guadalupe Radio Network and EWTN Radio. KSHJ signed on in 1948 as KCOH and became KSHJ in 2013. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 1,000 watts at night. Studios are located, or programming rather, is originated from the headquarters of the Guadalupe Radio Network in Midland, Texas. The station's transmitter is off of Bucroft Street in Houston. KSHJ is owned by the La Promesa Foundation, and programming is relayed on translator station K241CO 96.1 FM Houston. 1460 is KBRZ, licensed to another Houston suburb, this time being Missouri City, Texas. This is Sangeet Radio, featuring a South Asian and Desi music format, as well as talk programming in Hindi. This station signed on the air on October 3rd, 1952. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 125 watts at night. Studios are located at 1600 Pasadena Boulevard in Pasadena. Their transmitter is off of Ronlum Road in the Houston suburb of Sugar Land, Texas. KBRZ is owned by DAIJ Media LLC and licensed by Roberto Ruben Villarreal. Programming is relayed on translator stations K223DH 92.5 FM Houston and K236AR 95.1 FM Missouri City. 1480 is KLVL Pasadena, Texas, known as Radio Vision, featuring a Spanish Christian format, signing on the air on May 5th, 1950. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts during the day and 500 watts at night. Studios are located at 1302 North Shepherd Drive in Houston. The transmitter is off of Pasadena Boulevard in Pasadena, Texas. KLVL is locally owned by Houston-based Siga Broadcasting Corporation and is licensed to Gabriel Arango. Programming is relayed on translator station K235CS Houston on 94.9 FM. 1500 is KANI Wharton, Texas, known as Great Gospel 1500, featuring a gospel music format. This station signed on the air on September 1st, 1978. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 500 watts. Studios are located at 4638 Decker Drive in Baytown. Their transmitter is off of Montgomery Road or County Road 129 in Wharton, Texas. KANI is owned by Martin Broadcasting, and programming is relayed on translator station K284CS 104.7 FM in Beasley, Texas, which broadcasts to the Lufkin area. 1520 is KYND Cypress, Texas. No brand for this station. They have a Spanish Christian format affiliated with SNA Radio. KYND signed on the air on March 1st, 1990. The construction permit for the station was granted by the FCC in November 1987. They have a Class D license with the FCC, broadcasting at 25,000 watts during daytime hours and 18,000 watts during critical hours. Studio is unlisted. Their transmitter is off of FM 359 in Patterson, Texas. KYN is owned by El Salvador Ministries, and program is related on translator station K260CH 99.9 FM set in Dilley, Texas, which is outside of San Antonio. And what I didn't write down in my notes is KYND is a daytime only station. They must sign off the air at local sunset. All right, on to the final three stations, starting off with 1540, KGBC Galveston, Puro Tejano, featuring a Tejano music format. This station signed on the air on February 1st, 1947. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 3,600 watts during the day, 2,600 watts during critical hours, and 185 watts at night. Studios are located at 1302 North Shepherd Drive in Houston. Their transmitter is at 2-400 Bradner in Galveston. KGBC is also locally owned by Houston-based SIGA Broadcasting Corporation, that's SIGA, and licensed by Gabriel Arango. Programming is relayed on translator station K269GS 101.7 FM, originally licensed to Pasadena, Texas, now licensed to Houston. 1560 is KGOW, Bel Air, Texas, Viet Radio 1560. This is a full-service Vietnamese station, signing on the air on September 1st, 1961 as KGUL in Port Lavaca. The station became KILE in 1996 and KGOW in 2007. The station would move from Port Lavaca to the Houston area in 1996. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 46,000 watts during the day and 15,000 watts at night. Studios are located at 5353 West Alabama Street, number 415 in Houston. The daytime transmitter at 46,000 watts is located across from Brazos Bend State Park in Lockridge, Texas. The nighttime transmitter, which operates at 15,000 watts, is off of West Road and Katie Hockley Cutoff Road in Cypress. KGOW is owned by David Gow and is the flagship station of locally based Gow Media, and the license is held by Gow Media LLC. Programming is simulcast in North Texas on KNGO 1480 AM Dallas-Fort Worth. And rounding out the AM band is 1590 KMIC Houston, known as Radio Da Bang, featuring South Asian and Bollywood music, affiliated with Radio Da Bang, or as they say, Radio Da Bang. KMIC signed on the air on May 12, 1947 as KATL. The station became KYOK in 1954 and KMIC in 1999. As you can tell, this is the former Radio Disney station in Houston. They have a Class B license with the FCC, broadcasting at 5,000 watts. Studios are located at 3050 Post Oak Boulevard, number 220 in Houston. The transmitter is also in Houston off of Oak Shadows Drive. KMIC is owned by Roberto and Ruben Villarreal and licensed to DAIJ Media LLC. Programming is relayed on translator stations K252 FR 98.3 FM Houston and K258 EZ 99.5 FM Sugarland, Texas. And that is a look at the AM radio stations reissue for the Houston-Galveston market. Coming up in a little while, we'll look at part 2, the FM stations reissue for the Houston-Galveston market. So make sure you join me for that. In the meantime, like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Ring the bell and get notified every time I go live. Big Al signing off. Thanks for watching and happy listening. Peace out.